In today's fast-paced business world, every organization faces a common challenge: how to stay competitive and relevant. This challenge has only one answer: embracing digital transformation. To optimize processes, streamline operation, and provide better customer experiences. But digital transformation is not just about implementing technology, it's about transforming the entire organization, practices, strategy, and culture. This is where Quidgest comes in. We are not just another software company. We are a global team of pioneers, innovators, and problem solvers who have believed for over 30 years that anything is possible. Our Genio platform combines advanced generative AI technology with a pattern model-driven software development approach that enables us to build intelligent systems that empower organizations to achieve their goals faster, more efficiently, and with greater precision. Our tested and proven software solutions adapt and continuously evolve to the ever-changing and complex needs of our clients, ensuring that they are always ahead of the curve, with new features compatible with different technologies and platforms, so clients can automate and optimize tasks and processes with fewer resources, but more quality, rigor, control, and customer satisfaction, focusing on what really matters: their core business. Whether you are a public entity, a multinational company, or a global multilateral institution, we have the expertise and the technology to take your operations to the next level. Embrace the power of generative AI engineering and drive digital transformation with future-ready software.
Okay, hello. Hi, welcome to a new edition of our Quidgest Q Talks. My name is Soledad González, and I will be hosting this session. Together, I have with me, well, virtually, Anna Muzalska. Hello.
Hello.
And we are going to be chatting today about public debt and IT systems, which is a very hot topic right now. Our agenda today is very, very small indeed. We are going to just have a little chat about debt management and IT systems. Debt management happens to be one of the types of software that we have been developing recently, so we thought it was a cool moment to talk about it. And after the chat, which is not going to be PowerPoint based, we are just going to be making questions and answers and chatting a bit. We will be seeing a demonstration video, and then we will close the session. So, Anna, let me introduce you a bit, very, very shortly. So Anna is the head of financial and banking systems here at Quidgest for how many years now, Anna?
15.
15 years. Oh, good number. Yeah. She has extensive experience in IT implementation in the banking and financial sector, including banking reporting, anti-money laundering, and of course, public debt. So I'm going to make you some little questions for maybe people that are not so into the topic, and then we will extrapolate to IT software. All right. So starting with the basics. What is public debt? Why is it important? And how do we interpret when we see public debt as a number or a percentage of the GDP when we see it in the news, for example?
So basically, the public debt is all the debt of borrowing, loans, liabilities, securities issued by the government. It can be central government, local government, public corporations. Basically, it's all the money, all the value that the government is borrowing to close the deficit, so close its budget. And later, of course, it's spent for the investigation, for investments, or the organization of the country itself. And this, as you mentioned, usually we have, of course, the public debt in a value. However, usually it's expressed as the percentage of the GDP. So we can compare this value between the countries. And yes, it's quite important issue in all economy. economics. It secures the financial stability of the country. So as I mentioned, there is a budget. A budget has to be closed. The income has to be equal to the spending. So there is necessity to close the gap, and that's where public debt comes into play. It's very important for the economic stability, but we'll talk a little bit. Poor public debt management endangers the stability of the economy, can cause the inflation, the currency devaluation, so the things that we of course don't want to have in any economy. Right now in EU we are having like quite high inflation due to the war and also still recovering from COVID. So basically it's we can see the devastating influence of it. Financial stability. We don't want to have relation with government with anyone that is not meeting their debt and paying their responsibilities. So of course it's very important for government and any institution, any corporation to meet its obligation to be able to pay for what it's buying. In the end, the government is spending the money, buying things, but also the flexibility and resilience. The ambience is changing, the environment is changing quickly, and the governments, the countries, has to be able to respond and to smoothen the shocks and crises as they might appear. And of course, it's necessary for the allocation of the resources between as mentioned, investment or spending like public health, education, or any other need of the country. So yes, it has a huge role in sustainability and stability of any government.
All right.
In any country.
So we understand that public debt is key for a sustained growth and development of any country. And you have covered a bit some of the risks of a poor public debt management, but could you explain a bit more about the risks that a country could deal with in the case of a poor public debt management, please?
Yes, of course. The basic risk is financial crisis. Fiscal crisis where the budget is not closed and the government cannot pay for what it's promised to pay and cannot pay its obligation. It goes with credit downgrading, rating, lower rating, usually higher interest. So new debt is getting more and more expensive, and of course it may even happen that there will be no one that will want to lend to the country that's not meeting its obligation. It has social consequences. Once again, there is if you don't have investments, your economy is downgrading. If you don't pay for housing, for health sector, so basically you need to have this money to make the country work. But also economical issues, like for instance the high interest rates. High interest rates, on the one hand, the government itself will have to pay more for the money it will borrow, but it also touches the households and the companies and slows down the economy because the money gets more expensive. So it's much more difficult to have the money for investments, and it's what makes the economy grow. And as mentioned, and inflation and currency devaluation, and the economy itself getting less and less competitive, taking into account with other economies it's working with.
Yeah, so it affects the economy at all levels, basically. All right. So then, against these risks, what are the measures or practices that we have seen recently in countries that they are using in order to improve their public debt management?
Public debt management structure itself, it has different I would say pillars. Of course, you have the whole policy framework, and you have to have clear objectives to what you want to achieve as far as cost structure is concerned, as far as risk management is concerned, as far as development your own market is concerned. So basically, there are lots of pillars of the debt management. And here, of course, once again, transparency, accountability. You have to have it has to be transparent. You have to have all public information available and up to date, because it's very important. Once again, no one wants to lend the money to someone that is not clear about their expenses and their situation. You have to have a risk management. We already mentioned the crisis, the unforeseen situations. You have to have a buffers for it on the one hand, but also on the other hand, you need to have strategies already prepared and that you can put in place in the moment something happens. You have to develop your own market. You don't want to be 100% dependent only on the foreign money and foreign borrowing. You want to have also your local internal market to lend you the money. And also, what's very important is structure of costs of the borrowing management. And here we are talking about optimization of maturities, structure of interest rates. Basically, there's whole science how to optimize those variables and prepare for the changes. And this is the part I would say like conceptual part, and the strategy and the idea. How do you wanna have your public debt defined? However, there are two key pillars, fundamentals for this structure to work. uh, it's your institutional capacity that can maintain this idea, and we can divide it into parts. One is the workforce. So basically, you need the people that know their work, to understand understand they have know-how as far as public debt is concerned. And on the other hand, you have to have a tool. You have to have a software, and if you have those three components, if you lack one of them, you are not able to have good public management. You have to can have good ideas and strategy and good people, adequate people. However, with pen and paper, they won't be able to manage that complex structure as public debt management. On the other hand, if you have the software, but you don't have the people with know-how that know how to use the software and that understand the public debt, understand and align with the strategy, it will also not work, because of course software is a very important component of the ecosystem, but it's not solves magically the question of the public debt. It's just one of the three components, and I believe that each of them is it's really necessary for public debt management to work correctly and to be well managed.
Of course, yeah. So going to the third pillar that you were mentioning, software, which is our sector and where we feel more comfortable. We have seen different approaches of the governments when it comes to decide how to implement this type of solution. Some governments, they decide to develop in-house. Some of them go to off-the-shelf solutions. Others try to go for more tailored options with a software vendor. So in your experience, what are the must-have modules or the main features that a public debt solution would need to have?
So, as far as solution is concerned, they are of course generic characteristics like security, integration, all this part related with, I would say, any software. Here, in case of the public debt management, I will focus, I believe, on the three main components. One is more general. We are talking about here about getting the right information to the right people at the right time. So it's the most important thing, because here we are talking about a really complex subject, but also it's subjects that has impact on the whole economy. So basically, influence life of many people and influence the country, can influence country situation. So it's serious matter. So basically, all the reporting, all the dashboards, getting the right information to the right people. It is the part of the general information that has to flow in the process. And then when you were talking about the public debt, we can divide it into two components. One is more strategic one. So basically, it's all the planning, all the, because when you are making your strategy, when you are making your scenarios, you have to have into account also the macroeconomical variables, your forecast for them. Then you have to make a scenarios. You have to do some stress testing. What will happen if the interest rate structure changes? What will happen if the currencies in which we are taking debt will change? So basically, you have to. It can be for good or for bad. You have to have all those parts in place and control. And as I mentioned, what if scenarios, and to be prepared to check what will happen if I take a loan, for instance, in this currency. What will change if, for instance, I decide to issue some treasury bond. So basically, you have to have the whole strategic planning information, and then you have more operational part. And here, with operational part, we are talking already about the debt that's already taken, that's already in place. Your responsibility that you, as a country, that you have to repay. And here we are talking about the cash flow management. It's most important. You have to have a cash in the right moment to repay to your to whom you borrow from. Then you need the structure of values over the time that you will have to have that available. And also, of course, all the indicators related with your situation, your current debt structure, your indicators that you publish. Usually, they are published annually, and the others 3 months, and they have to be published, and they have to be available in the bulletins that are later published to the public. As once again, we talk about transparency.
Sure.
You have to secure it, and that's also where the software helps.
Okay. Yeah, I think this was a good overview of how would it look like, even though we are going to have a look later in the demonstration. Talking about implementing this type of solutions, you have recently implemented a debt management solution as a technical leader and as project manager. What were the major challenges that you see implementing a solution of this kind and relevance for at the national level, right?
Yes. Each implementation always has its challenges. Here, once again, we are talking about the issue that is quite complex, and once again, it's not an issue that it's also well known. You have the specialists in the subject, but it's the resources that really have a know-how about the topic are quite scarce, and we have to work with them in order to be able to implement and to define and configure, adjust, and a good solution. The issue that, once again, we are talking about complex issues, the data quality availability in the level of the migration of the data, definition of the data, but also things like more general issues, in general, cost of those implementations is very important to have into account, that there are solutions that good solutions that have have possibility to manage every type of debt in that is being managed in the world. However, in the end, they are very robust and they may not be that flexible and that adjusted to the necessities of the certain economics of the certain regions. What we preach a little bit is not to try to put a closed solution and to oblige everyone to stop working the way they were working and change completely the way they process data, they behave to feed this software. We are convinced that we can do it is the other way around. Our logic is to have the best of the two worlds. On the one hand, you have the product, you have a solution that is already much mature, that is already implemented, that is already has its good practices. However, later you have the part that you can tailor it to need to meet the needs of this concrete economy, and to have instrument that is using processes that is using. Of course, I'm not saying that it does not make sense completely. It's good idea to use the implementation of a software to adjust your processes and to make them more better and more optimized. However, here you can, but it's like you have to find the balance when it makes sense, not to oblige the workforce. Once again, we are talking about the people with really complex know-how to change completely their way of working and seeing things to fix into your software, but to make the software understand your logic and on the one hand has all the functionalities and features that you need, but not to be too complex and oblige you to do extra steps because of the instrument, for instance, that you are not using.
Sure.
So basically, be adjusted to what you need in this moment. And of course, they are standard. We'll say those are more specific for this project, this type of projects, type of solutions. Later, you have also standard challenges that you have in any implementation, like resistant to change. It's very important to have the people very important to have the people, the key users involved earlier in the process, so it's easier for them to adjust to new project. The questions related with integration, always when this new piece going into those systems, they don't work independently. They are piece of the environment. So basically, there are also always questions with integration, security, and privacy trainings. But those are things that with good planning and good project management, it's nothing to worry about. You have to be prepared because, of course, as they happens, but it's nothing like uncommon or things that you can prepare for and have contingency plans.
Of course. Yeah, I think we learn a bit more with each implementation.
Yes,
It's
it's
a
true.
two-way learn path, right?
It's true.
Yeah, and just a final question for any decision makers out there that may be thinking about procuring a public debt tool. What would you say that are the most important drivers for choosing a tool like that?
I would say it will be flexibility and adjustment to your needs and to your reality. I'll say it this way. But with scalability, because you can later add more, not even on level of values, but new instruments. So it has to be something that is on one hand easy for use, user friendly, makes sense in your reality, but is flexible enough to change when it's necessary. Of course, once again, it has to be good repository of the information and be able to supply all the reports or the statistic of the dashboards that you need for effective debt management. And of course, things Once again, those are more standards like security, privacy, transparency. The company that will implement the technical support and maintenance is also very important to give later continuity to the process. And of course, compatibility with the standards, international standards, and good practices that are recommended by the regulators and institutions, international institutions.
Yeah, indeed, these are very relevant points in when selecting a software solution. Okay, so I think we are hitting the 20-something minutes. Now we are going to play a little demonstration video that Anna made for us and her team about the Quidgest debt management solution, indeed, and its main features. So see you in a bit.
Let's explore our public debt management solution. It consists of the two modules. The part of the public debt management, so basically this is the debt already taken. Here we're talking about the borrowings, lendings, or the securities that already have been issued, and its daily management. And the financing strategy, where we are talking about the strategy, planning, what-if scenarios, and so on, in order to have a public debt strategy and the planning. So let's start with public debt. As far as management of the taken debt is concerned, we have here division for internal and external debt. However, it's configurable. A part of the reporting, the treasury, so it's basically its integration with the ERP, and of balance responsibilities. So here we are talking about all the guarantees that although they are not yet the debt itself, however, it's important to keep track of the information. Let's look at the example of the existing security. We have the resume, so the most important information about the security, simulation and amortization plan of the cash flows. Basically, simulation is not yet debt, only when it's accepted it became an amortization plan. The payments, that in the end is execution of the amortization plan, all the history and some configurations. As you can see, the securities, this form is quite simple and intuitive. However, depending on the complexity of the instrument, the form grows. And here we can see an example, for instance, as far as contracts are concerned. If we insert a new contract, as you can see, the quantity information is bigger. But let's start maybe to look at the contract with the data. I prepared here one with the data already populated. So once again, we have a resume when we have all the information. As you can see, the much more complex than the titles. The part of the disbursements, simulation, amortization, situation is equal as far as cash flows are concerned. It's also possible to import this information directly from Excel if the standard will see simulations won't be enough, because of course we can simulate the simulate first simulation, then make it into amortization into real payments plan. With some configurations as far as interest is concerned, engagement fee, the fee, other costs, and form of capital amortization. So basically taking into account the information regarding the configurations and the resume, the disbursement, simulation, and later amortization plan is created. We can see all the history of the changes of the amortization plan and the contract itself. We can also insert here documents in any format that we consider important to keep on the record for a contract. And an extra feature, we can repass the loan to the other company. Imagine the government is taking a loan in order to finance some projects. So here it can be information about repassing the loan, usage conditions of this loan, and the project itself. Basically, internal and external debt, here we have a database for the information. And we have here the incredible amounts of the reports. I'll not enter in all of them, because for this we'll have to have an hour presentation. We have information about disbursement, stock. I would like to show you here maybe the risk indicators and annual report, how we have evolutions of the indicators of exchange rates, some ratios, and sustainability analysis, what will happen if we take some new instrument. But let's look a little bit at risk indicators. You can check them by the year. So we have the information about the risk, and also it's possible to have annual bulletin information. Here we have defined this information. It's also adjustable and configurable, and you can have all the information necessary for the public information. The part of the treasury is basically the planning, cash flows, integration with ERP system to be sure that you have the money to meet your obligations, and also what you are counting to receive. I already a little bit spoke about guarantees, and we have here different configurations as far as market data is concerned, and the application itself. It was very quick overview the daily public debt management. So let's now look at the financing strategy. As far as financing strategy module is concerned, the module looks smaller. However, most of the work is being done by the engine that transforms macro and market information strategies into results and outputs. Here we have management of all variables that we want to include in our scenarios. We have strategies that we want to use that will result in results. Here we can access them in the format of the database or as an output in a report. Here we have a name base and prediction years. Here the data is all the data for this database is simulated, so it might not always make sense as the strategy of the plan to be foreseen. Here we can see different divisions for the gross borrowings and composition of the debt, the pricing, the redemption profiles, and cost and indicators, and other information that is based on our assumption and use strategies. Here the strategies we have already base for the strategies defined. However, it's possible to integrate and to configure any kind of algorithm that is being in use by your institution.
That was great, Anna. Thank you very much for chatting with me and for giving us this little demonstration peel with the video. And now for any questions that the viewers may have, please leave your comments in the chat or contact us at solutions@quidgest.com, and we will get back to you. And also you can stay in contact through our website and social networks. Thank you, Anna, again. And see you in another Quid Talk. We don't know.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Bye. Thanks.